Hey RC drivers, welcome back to the channel and our Get Into RC video series that's dedicated to helping you get into the hobby. Now today's topic is Nitro basics, the stuff that you're going to need to fire up a Nitro vehicle. Now recently I reviewed this Nitro tracker truck over here and we had a question of, hey, that looks pretty cool, but what do I need exactly to get it started? What equipment do I have to have on hand? And that's what I'm going to show you today, just the basics of what you'll need to buy beyond the vehicle in order to get it started up. Okay, so first up, you probably guessed this already, but you're going to need some Nitro fuel. Now, we use VP PowerMaster fuel. There's a bunch of different name brand fuels out there. Check out what your hobby store has. Pick one up from them. And when you go to pick one, they'll be 20% or 30%. But a good general rule of thumb for picking out a Nitro fuel is any engine under 0.18, usually go with a 20% fuel, and anything 21 and above, you go with a 30% fuel. Now, there are different types of fuel out there. There's racing fuels and basher fuels. So it's good to talk to your local hobby shop and see what they recommend for the particular vehicle that you're buying. All right, the other thing you're probably going to need is a fuel bottle, and this helps you transfer the fuel from the can over to the tank of the car. And a bunch of different manufacturers make these as well. Sometimes they even come with the Nitro vehicle, but this is always good to have on hand because trying to pour this fuel into a tank is not always the easiest thing to do. This will make it a lot easier. All right, this pretty important. This is your glow driver, glow starter, glow igniter, bunch of different names for it, but this is what heats up the glow plug on top of the engine. So you're going to need one of these. And there are some pretty basic models like this one. This just uses an alkaline AA battery to power it. And just a side note there, always use fresh batteries in your glow drivers when you are going to use them. The glow plug needs to burn hot in order to fire up the engine. They also have a version of these that use a C-style battery, even a D-style battery. So whatever one you feel like picking up, that's probably going to work. And then it's always a good idea to have a tuning screwdriver on hand. You're probably going to have to tweak the needle valves on top of the engine. So having one of these on hand is good. And you could use your basic screwdriver that you probably have. It just needs to have a very fine blade at the end of it. But they do have Nitro-specific tuning screwdrivers. If you want to pick one of those up, I will put a link in the description below to this particular one. And then that's really about it for the bare basics that you're going to need. Now, there are other options out there, and there are some variations out there. One of the options I wanted to show you guys is this glow driver here. This is a rechargeable glow driver, so it comes with the charger, and then this is a rechargeable battery at the end of the glow driver, so that option is available if you don't want to keep wasting through batteries. The other thing I wanted to show you is starting devices. So some vehicles, they have electronic starters, or they have starter wands with motors in them that fire up the engine. So this is an electronic one from Traxxas. Their vehicles have a starter on board, and you plug this in, and it will fire up the vehicle. Now, to power this, you're going to need a battery to put inside of it. So you're going to need a battery and a charger to charge this up in order to fire up your vehicle. So that's another option I wanted to show you guys. Some vehicles don't even have a starter on them. They will require a starter box, and so you'll need a starter box. Look for a universal starter box. That's the easiest, and some batteries to put inside. Sometimes manufacturers have LiPo batteries specifically for starter boxes. Some starter boxes will just require two 7.4 volt LiPos, so do a little bit of research depending on which box you buy. But there's not a lot of ready-to-runs that need a starter box, and sometimes when you get them, they actually have it in the box. Finally, what I'm going to suggest you need is a glow plug wrench and a spare glow plug, or a couple of spare glow plugs, because it is possible that the glow plug could burn out on you when you're breaking in your engine or when you're running it. So definitely go and grab yourself a glow plug wrench if your vehicle didn't come with one. Some of them do, so just be aware of that. But definitely get a couple of glow plugs just to have on hand in case you have a problem. And the glow plugs are specific to the vehicle. There's a bunch of different glow plugs out there, so definitely check out what your local hobby store recommends or what the manual recommends that you use for a replacement. All right, guys, that's the basics of what you're going to need to fire up a Nitro vehicle. If you haven't done so yet, please click that subscribe button and the notifications bell. If you have any questions, throw in the comment section below. We'll see you back soon for some more Get Into RC videos.